You know, it's funny, sometimes American journalists talk about how bad a country is because people are lining up for food. That's a good thing. In other countries, people don't line up for food. The rich get the food and the poor starve to death. Way back in, what was it, 1961, they invaded Cuba. And everybody was totally convinced that Castro was the worst guy in the world, that all the Cuban people were going to rise up in rebellion against Fidel Castro. They forgot that he educated the kids, gave them health care, totally transformed the society. You know, not to say that Fidel Castro or Cuba are perfect. They are certainly not. But just because Ronald Reagan dislikes these people does not mean to say that the people in their own nations feel the same way. So they expected a tremendous uprising in Cuba. It never came. And if they are expecting a tremendous uprising in Nicaragua,
to try to do my best to describe the anger I feel inside and the anxiety when I hear a so-called United States government leader who's running for the 2020 presidential election support the Castro regime in such a cowardly way. Let's not even bring up the fact that communism has killed over 100 million innocent people worldwide, and these numbers are conservative. We will never know the real death toll of communism. China alone may have killed that many already. But this is the Democratic Party's face, the new communist ideals for the American people. It is always those who have never experienced communism who support it the most. They dress it up with words like socialism, progressivism, democratic, social justice, when it all equates to oppression, subjugation, slavery, tyranny, censorship, hunger, poverty, gun control, and death. Castro's success does not exist on the island of Cuba. There was only headache and death there. There are millions of Cubans who have made the United States their country. The majority of them vote Republican, and many are serving in our military or in our government for the people, like Ted Cruz and others. There are Cubans who have created successful businesses and helped build the fabric of this nation. Cubans like myself who have served in the United States Marines and other branches of the military joined to fight against communists anywhere in the world. We're willing to give our lives for the American flag and our people and defend our constitutional oath against communists like Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez who shed on it daily. Let me tell you about the hundreds of thousands of Cubans who have perished on a 90-mile stretch of ocean in search of freedom. Those who did not make it left the bodies of children and their mothers on Florida shores in decrepit boats made of all kinds of materials. They didn't come searching for benefits or handouts, but just a simple opportunity to be free, to have the freedoms and liberties every human should have. They wanted to think and act with a certain moral ethics without having the government boot up on your head. To strive and be a successful part of the society while enjoying the fruits of our own labor. That is the American way, the capitalism way. Many people speak about the dangers of communism. Very rarely will you hear it from someone like myself who survived it. Bernie Sanders goes on to talk about breadlines as if it has experienced any of them. We don't have breadlines in the United States. We have bakeries filled with enough bread to fill a small town. We don't just have one bakery. We have dozens of them. We have many flavors to choose from and choices. Isn't that a beautiful thing? You never have to worry about that here, about standing in line for half a day, like 2 o'clock in the morning, waiting for a loaf of bread. A loaf of bread that will have to last you only a week until the next time the government decides to give you a handout. When I hear such communist garbage, I just wish I had the power to take every single one of these communists and send them to one of these so-called utopias. Take away their American citizenship and leave them there forever. Guarantee in a matter of time they'll be creating their own little boats to try to come to the United States. It is always these communists in America who live above the middle class with millions-dollar homes and security, who live a lavish style most American will even dream of, that support a system controlled by a few to slave many. How ignorant have the American people become when we have someone like Kaepernick promoting communism wearing a Fidel Castro shirt or JC with his Che Guevara shirt? Both of them were racist towards black people. All it takes to read Che's own journal to find out. In Cuba, so-called Che, or his real name Ernesto Guevara, earned the title the Butcher of La Cabaña, who managed one of many concentration camps that Castro built after the so-called revolution, where he slaughtered thousands of Cuban gays. And in Castro's own words, we will never come to believe that a homosexual will embody the conditions, requirements, and conduct that will enable us to consider him as a true revolutionary, a true communist militant. Castro told in an interview in 1965, a deviation of that nature clashes with the concept we have what militant communists should be. And now we have groups like Antifa and others glorifying communism as is the coolest, hippest thing to do. So the moral of the story, kids, take it from me, a communist survivor. Do not fall for communism propaganda from lying hypocrite Bernie Sanders. There hasn't been one single American in history or at this time that has risking his life to escape capitalism, but there are millions who will die every year trying to get to the land of the bees and honey, the land of the free and the brave we call the United States of America. Let's protect our sovereignty and the land of our founding fathers sacrificed so much for us to have. May God continue to protect our republic against traitors and communism.